Think about your home network for a second. It's basically the front door to your entire digital life. But here's the real question. Is that door even locked? We're going to dive into the common weak spots most of us overlook and show you exactly what you can do to lock things down, like right now.
So let me ask you something straight up. Right now, your setup, the little router box blinking away, your laptop, your TV, do you really think it's safe from someone trying to get in? You might think, nah, I'm fine. But honestly, the answer is probably not. There's this cybersecurity expert, Network Chuck, who says he's about 90% sure your home network can be hacked. And the scary part is, the tools to do it, they're way more common than you'd think.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll find the open doors in your network. Then, I'll give you 7 essential fixes you can do immediately. We'll also cover the danger lurking inside with your IoT devices, touch on some pro-level defenses, and wrap it all up with VPNs. Okay, let's start by thinking like a hacker. To really build a solid defense, you've got to understand how the other side thinks, right? So what does a hacker actually see when they look at your network from out there on the internet? The very first thing they're looking for is your public IP address. The easiest way to think about it is it's literally your home address, but for the internet. Your internet provider gives it to you, and yep, just like your street address, it can give away your general location. And this is why you should guard that thing with your life. Never share it. Because once a hacker has it, they can point all their tools directly at you and start rattling the doorknobs looking for a way in. It's the digital version of handing a burglar your address and saying, hey, come see if my windows are open. So what are these unlocked doors I'm talking about? In the networking world, we call them open ports. See, your router has a firewall that's supposed to be a big wall, blocking everything. But sometimes little doors or ports get left open. Maybe for a game, maybe for some other app, and every single one of those is a potential way in for an attacker. Now, if you were to scan a typical, decently configured network, you'd see something like this. Almost 1,000 ports are closed, totally invisible. That's great. It means your firewall is on the job. But, and this is the key takeaway, a hacker doesn't need 1,000 open doors. They just need one single open port connected to something with a flaw inside, and boom, that's all it can take to get inside your whole network. Okay, so that's the scary part. Now for the good news. Let's talk solutions. We've got 7 things you can do probably right now on the router you already have that will make a huge difference. All right, let's run through these. Number 1, make sure your firewall is actually on. It sounds basic, but you'd be surprised. It's your main shield. 2, disable port forwarding. If you set one up ages ago for a game and forgot about it, go close that door. 3, disable remote management. You absolutely do not want someone to be able to log into your router from the internet. 4, and this one is so important, change the default login. Every hacker on the planet tries admin and password first. 5, update your firmware. Seriously, those updates contain patches for security holes that people have discovered. 6, secure your Wi-Fi. Use WPA2 or WPA3 security, have a crazy strong password, and for goodness sake, change the name from Linksys or whatever the default is. And finally, number 7, disable WAN ping response. This is a simple trick that basically makes your network a little more invisible to those initial scans. Okay, so you've done all that. The front door is locked, the windows are barred, you're feeling pretty good. But what if the call is coming from inside the house? Yeah, let's talk about all those smart devices you've got. So here's the crazy part. Your firewall is fantastic at stopping people from getting in, but it's designed to let all your devices get out to the internet. So if a hacker manages to take over, say, your smart TV, that TV can just phone home to the hacker's server. It creates a connection from the inside out, and your firewall just waves it on by. And we're talking about everything. Smart TVs, those Wi-Fi light bulbs, your security cameras, Alexa, even, and I'm not kidding, smart toilets. The biggest culprits are often those cheap off-brand gadgets that you just know are never going to get a security update. Every single one is a little Trojan horse waiting to be let in. So clearly, just having one big happy family of devices on your network isn't going to cut it. We need a smarter way to handle these things we don't fully trust. And that brings us to the pro-level stuff, how to build a real digital fortress. So here's the big idea. Right now, you probably have what we call a flat network. That means your super important work laptop and that cheap smart plug you bought are on the same team, able to talk to each other.
That's bad. The pro move is to segment your network. You use something called a VLAN to build a digital wall. You put all your untrustworthy IoT gadgets in their own little sandbox. They can get to the internet, sure, but they are completely blocked from ever talking to your important stuff, like your computers or your file server.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Well, you've got a few options. If you're a bit of a nerd, you might be able to flash custom software like DDWRT onto your current router for free. The next step up is to buy what we call prosumer gear from brands like Ubiquiti. But no matter which way you go, the real game-changing feature you want to look for is something called an IDS/IPS. So what the heck is an IDS/IPS? The best analogy is a security guard. An IDS, the detection part, is the guard that sees something suspicious and radios it in. Hey, that light bulb is doing something weird. An IPS, the protection part, is the guard that not only sees it, but tackles the bad guy to the ground. It'll see that light bulb trying to call a sketchy server and just block it automatically. It's awesome. All right, last but not least, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in your security toolkit, the VPN. And no, they're not just for watching Netflix from another country. They're all about creating super secure encrypted tunnels for your data. Basically, a VPN creates a secret encrypted tunnel from your device to a server somewhere out on the internet. What does this do? Well, for one, it completely hides your real public IP address from the websites you visit. And two, it encrypts everything. So if you're on, say, coffee shop Wi-Fi, nobody can snoop on what you're doing.
A lot of you probably use a VPN for work already, right? You click a button on some software on your laptop, and it builds that secure tunnel back to the office network. That's a remote access VPN. Some folks who work from home might even get a little hardware box from their company that keeps that tunnel open all the time. That's called a site-to-site VPN. But here's a really cool trick. You can flip that whole concept on its head. Remember how we said port forwarding was a bad idea? Well, instead, you can run your own VPN server right on your router. And what that does is let you create a secure tunnel back into your home network when you're out and about. It's the secure way to get to your files and services from anywhere in the world. So there you have it. We've looked at the threats, from open ports to those sneaky smart devices, and we've looked at the fixes, all the way from 7 simple tweaks to building a full-blown segmented network. Look, I know it can seem like a lot, but securing your digital life doesn't have to be overwhelming. The most important thing is just to take that first step. So the question is, what's yours going to be?